live on your tablet, phone, and the KUTV app. This is 2 News Live.
Thanks for joining us on 2 News Live. I'm Brian Schnee. It is Thursday, February 15th. Going in depth tonight on a number of different topics, some of ones that we've talked about on KUTV 2 News, including the new renderings released today by the Larry H. Miller Company, but also security concerns at big events following yesterday's shooting in Kansas City during the Chiefs Super Bowl of celebration. But before we dive in, taking a look at what's making headlines right now, you can see it on your screen here right now. You can find a lot of these on our website, KUTV.com. This afternoon, the Utah House and Senate voted to censure State Board member Natalie Cline. The vote comes after a Cline post on social media of a photo which she implies a girls basketball player was a transgender athlete. Now, yesterday, the State Board of Education unanimously voted to request Cline's resignation, along with issuing a formal censure against her. Also in your headlines right now, Salt Lake City police officers arrested 3 people accused of stealing at least 10 grand in merchandise. Happened yesterday when police received information about a theft. It took place at a clothing store in the Brickyard Plaza. Officers detained 3 people. They found their van in the store's parking lot. Officers recovered 100 pairs of shoes, 153 handbags, 82 wallets, and 400 pieces of clothing. Those look like my running shoes, valued at $90. The Salt Lake City International Airport, one of 114 airports across the country, to get a little bit of this. $970 million worth of grant funding from the FAA. $20 million will be spent to fund a portion of the Concourse B terminal expansion. You're still going to have to walk from A to B. That's just how it works. The expansion will include an additional 16 gates. Finally, in your headlines tonight, UDOT is reminding drivers in Taylorsville about a weekend lane closure. This is at a popular spot, though, 47 South Bangor Highway. Starting tomorrow night at 10, all traffic in that area will be detoured while crews install bridge supports. The road reopens Monday morning. I don't know the time, I'm sorry. Drivers should use 41st South or 54th as alternate routes. As we go in depth tonight, you can always get in touch with us. We encourage you to do so by using the hashtag 2NewsLive to join in on the fun. In our conversation, of course, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Send a DM to weigh in. This one's tough because it comes in the wake of celebration. Kansas City police say the shooting after the Chiefs Super Bowl parade is likely connected to a dispute that led to the gunfire. Police say this tackle in the crowd helped detain 1 of 3 people who are believed to be connected to the shooting. 2 of the people that were in custody, juveniles. Chiefs fans had to duck and run for cover as more than 800 police officers on scene sprang into action there. Here's the victim. Lisa Lopez Galvan, a mother of 2, a popular radio DJ there in KC, was killed. More than 20 others injured, most of them shot, including nearly a dozen children.
And I'd like to give you some good news today that out of all of the children we have treated, we only have 3 left in the hospital, all of which will recover from the injuries they had yesterday.
Police say they have recovered several firearms and their investigation continues. The Gun Violence Archive reports there have been 49 mass shootings in the United States since the start of 2024. It is February 15th for those of you counting at home. I spoke with a former Utah police chief who now works in event security, doing some of the biggest games and events here in the state of Utah. We talked about what unfolded yesterday in KC.
What happened yesterday, how would you describe it from your lens in Kansas City?
Well, something that you would never want to have happen. You try and plan to make sure those things don't happen, but there are so many variables, obviously unfortunate, and you never want anything like that to happen on your watch, but it's like normal policing. You can't have a cop on every corner. You can't have, a federal, state, local security, whatever, every 10 feet. And that's what's difficult. A parade, especially, because, New York does a lot of magnetometers, and you can't go into the parade setting until but parades like this for Super Bowls and, for cities that don't see huge parades, which I'm sure they do, the issue is people coming from all directions. You've got building windows, you've got apartments, you've got office buildings, you've got all kinds of things that you have to worry about heights, you have to worry about, who's coming. and it's hard to keep from people bringing weapons or having weapons or anything like that.
From your perspective, what is it like to plan for security for an event such as a parade or something that is kind of in the open, right? And is not in this big, secure Allegiant Stadium, perhaps, where you have to go through a series of checkpoints. What are the nuances in planning for security like that?
Because it's an uncontrollable, obviously, the first thing that came to mind when you asked that question was, nowadays we even have drones that people can, it goes from identifying, airspace to identifying every street cover, manhole cover, sewer, every abandoned building, everything that I don't know if, hurting 12 dozen cats even comes close. It's one of those things where you've got to start from the ground up, and then from what your threat assessment is going to be as far as what's your space, and really is it going to be difficult to, as a closed environment, can you close it? Can you close something like a couple of streets, that go for a long time? Can you start to do that? Sometimes you can't. And so everything from barricades to, shielding to, like I said, drones, snipers. You're really calling on it personnel-wise. It really takes an army. It takes the combination of state, local, and federal, even for the parade there. State, local, and federal officials, and from people from outskirts, to police departments from outskirts of, Kansas City area. It's a monumental thing, and it has to start. And I know a lot of, I know some of the NFL things, and they were planning this a long time ago, way before they won the Super Bowl.
So as of right now, no suspects have been officially named. Again, 2 of those juveniles, so we may not know their name based on how things come out with information flow. But still more to uncover here. Stay with 2 News for the latest developments in this mass shooting that has impacted so many based on who they root for on the football field. Today, new renderings released by the Larry H. Miller Company, who vows to invest $3.5 billion into the development of the Power District. This is on the west side of Salt Lake City. This afternoon, I spoke with the company about where we stand in the project here in Utah and the hope of making Big League Utah a reality.
We've continued to work closely with Major League Baseball to understand what their needs are, what they continue to look for as they would start an expansion process. We have been working with them on a lot of initiatives lately, and just talking through what is required for a market to be ready to host a professional sports franchise. And I think what we're doing now is just making sure that they understand that the Utah market is ready, that we have all of the right ingredients. And now that we really have a shovel-ready site with incredible research and planning, and we actually know where in that site we would put the ballpark. And so we just continue to communicate at this point and let them know that Utah's ready and really excited about having a team.
Question I was asked today, is there any sort of a potential timeline of when we would say, yes, you can start this process from Major League Baseball? Are we near anything? Is it still years out? Where are we?
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. And we continue to try to understand that as well. What we've heard the commissioner say publicly is that he is interested in doing an expansion of 2 teams, possibly one in the East and one in the West, and he'll work that on his timeline. I think there are some other things that they're working to settle right now, which include the Oakland Athletics moving to Las Vegas, and then the Tampa Bay Rays and their stadium situation. And so as they work through some of those things, then I think that they'll be ready to talk about expansion.
Some exciting renderings put out today and videos by the Larry H. Miller Company. What do those renderings show? What should people take away from seeing those pictures and the possibilities of what could be?
Yeah, I think as people look at those renderings, I hope that they feel that there's a generational opportunity here. For anyone who drives by or is aware of where that power district site is, when you're leaving or coming to the airport or visiting downtown Salt Lake, there's an opportunity there to not only develop that area where you can add corporate businesses, residents, dining, shopping, but then you look at how proximate it is to the Jordan River, which is a state amenity. And I hope people will start to think Utah can have a river city. Salt Lake can be a river city.
All the teams you could imagine are represented in Vegas, not just the NFL, but there were a lot of A's hats that I saw, jerseys, people interested in about the Oakland Athletics becoming something else. There was the mention of the potential for Salt Lake City maybe having a little role in a holdover pattern or something for the A's. Has there been any more dialogue about that?
Yeah, I would say that is an incredibly exciting opportunity. We want to be good partners to Major League Baseball. And so we've been very responsive to both the Oakland Athletics and Major League Baseball. And right now, they're working through their numbers and their issues, and hopefully we hear from them soon.
I'm not kidding. When I was in Vegas, I saw every jersey imaginable down there from every sport, but there was a lot of love for the A's. Read more about the proposed baseball mecca, if you will, here for Salt Lake City. I mean, this is going to be a cool spot if it comes to fruition, with shops and restaurants and all these things, and making Utah kind of, Salt Lake City, at least that Riverwalk style. That's what they're hoping for here. Should be really cool. You can find more of those renderings and whatnot, KUTV.com. You were talking about it, Sean, and it's okay to feel that way.
Yeah.
This would be pretty cool if this happens.
I hope we get it. I mean, it's going to be, once it gets approved, it'll still take a few years, right?
Oh, yeah. It's not going to happen overnight.
Right.
But you never know, especially when you're willing to put $3.5 billion into it right now.
Nice Riverwalk action, too.
I like that,
Some restaurants, some bars.
I love this.
Yeah,
I mean, the Sugarloaf camera never gets old for me.
Yeah, I mean, this has been really nice, all day. We've been watching the snow falling in the mountains. We've seen upwards of a foot in some of our ski resorts.
Whew.
So fresh powder.
I missed out
there.
again.
Yeah, I mean, we had upwards of 14 inches in some spots, 27 degrees right now at Alta. So let's get you to the forecast. Let's show you what's going on across the area. As I mentioned, we had some good snow from this little storm that pushed through the area. That little storm, well, seeing some good snow. Deer Valley, 13 inches out there. Even Sundance got in on the action, seeing upwards of 10 inches of snow. And we're not completely in the clear. Yeah, we're drying out, but we've got another storm moving into the area tomorrow. Not as big as what we saw, but 2 to 6 inches looking likely. So going to be a great ski day for all the skiers. And if you like a bluebird, well, heading to Saturday, the sun will be out. Comfortable temperatures there into the upper 20s. And along the Wasatch Front, we're not looking at snow. We're looking at more so rain as we get into tomorrow for the lower valleys, and then heading into Sunday, maybe a few snowflakes sprinkled in, some of that rain for storm number 2. But the pick of the weekend will certainly be on Saturday. So here's what you need to know. Next storm heading our way for tomorrow. Not kind of a big deal. It's mainly for our northern counties that we're going to be seeing that precipitation falling, that sunshine that returns for Saturday, kind of sandwiched in between the two storms. So 60 degrees right now in St. George. We're dealing with the sunny sky down there, where it's 50 in Cedar City, and then it gets pretty chilly up towards the north into the 40s, 47 in Salt Lake. The showers, the heavy precipitation that we saw early this morning, drying out. Now just dealing with some lingering isolated snow and rain showers up from Brigham City into the Logan area, and then a few sprinkles down near Tooele there. Overall, drying conditions as we head towards the 8-9 o'clock hour tonight. Here's storm number 2 moving in early tomorrow morning up from the north, Logan down through Ogden, seeing that rain snowy mix, more rain than snow in our valleys. And then we'll see that mountain snow heading into tomorrow afternoon and evening especially. That's when I think we could see the heaviest bands pushing through, and then drying out as we get towards tomorrow evening. And then we're dealing with sunshine for your Saturday. Wonderful weather there. And then storm number 3 pushing in as we get into Sunday. That one could be a central and southern or central and northern Utah type of deal. 2 to 6 inches, generally speaking. We'll deal with that. Mountain snow for tomorrow along the Wasatch back, probably about 1 to 3 inches looking possible. Temperatures overnight dipping down into the 30s and 20s. For highs tomorrow, we'll be back up into the 40s. We go. Salt Lake sitting at 47 degrees. St. George, we'll see the temperatures into the 60s. President's Day looking wonderful as well. 60s and some 50s as we head towards the end of next week. Along the Wasatch Front, we'll see temperatures into the 40s and 50s. So still unseasonably warm, mild conditions with that storm we'll be tracking heading into Sunday.
All right, lots to keep an eye on as always here. We're keeping you guys busy.
That's right.
Storm's moving in. I'm going to call an audible here. Sean doesn't know about it. Yeah, let's show you that.
Yeah, look at this.
That's the beauty there of Santa Clara over here just outside of St. George. But, you know, Trent Parker, weather producer here, obviously on 2 News Live a lot, loves this shot because of how the sun hits it. I agree.
I love how we have two, big differences in climates between South Utah and North Utah. We've got the snow up in the mountains, and then in South Utah, we've got something like this. I mean, absolutely beautiful out there.
Love a little red rock shine, Old Glory flying away here in this UDOT camera. Thanks to the folks at the Department of Transportation for keeping this one online. Remember to download our 2 News weather app to know about the changes in your neighborhood. Get updated forecast, a live radar right at the palm of your hand. It's easy to download the 2 News weather app today. Humans are not the only animals who like to tease each other for fun. Happens a lot here at our building. I don't know what's going on, but there's a new study suggesting that primate cousins enjoy the habits as well. Scientists look at video footage of chimps, orangutans, bonobos, which is a suit I wear from time to time apparently, gorillas interacting at the zoos in San Diego and Germany. The researchers paid very close attention to the movements, the actions, the facial expressions, and the response of the target. In all, they found 18 different teasing behaviors: body slamming, poking, hindering movement, and pulling on each other's hair. This, to me, doesn't surprise me, because when we took our little one to the Los Angeles Zoo in the last couple of months, they were just going at it after each other. But the researchers say they rarely observed an aggressive reaction from the target of the teasing, and it's more of that playful sort of thing. It's kind of like when Chase Thomason starts poking at you. I'm like, whoa, how am I reacting to this one here?
Yeah.
It's normally all in good fun. So, not surprising.
The good kind of teasing.
It's good. It's always good teasing here. And I contribute to it as well. So
there you go.
Just a little fun messing around for you here on 2 News Live. Thanks for watching the show, of course. If you missed anything, we went really depthy with a lot of things. So hope you'll go back and check it out on our YouTube channel, the live section. That's where you can find 2 News Live. Back